Bobby, I got this. Listen, I got my girl and a girl lapped up in my Rari, the Monday car, Tuesday Maserati. Roll up to the party.
So the name Mams Taylor came from, everybody called me Mams ever since I was a young'un. Everyone called me Mams. So that just always stuck. And then when I decided, look, I really want to try and do this artist thing, I think I always thought Mess Barouche might be a little bit of a mouthful, so I just went with Taylor, because I always wanted to be a tailor as well and do people's suits and that. No, I'm just playing, but I just wanted to, I thought Taylor was like, it was either Mams Smith or Mams Taylor, and I think Mams Taylor had more of a ring to it.
And his money no good when he
my musical journey, that's an interesting one, because the truth of it is, if I'm 100% real with you, I had no clue how to rap. I had no clue how to even begin a musical journey. So like everything else I've kind of been successful in some capacity, I just kind of blagged it and just one day decided, look, I've made money from having no money to having a lot of money, and then maybe I can do this rap thing as well, but it's a whole other beast, man. So I was kind of faking it, to be honest with you, and just was in the right place around the right people, and I was like, I did it for the wrong reasons. So I really got into it because I wanted to be famous, and I thought, I'm rich, what else is there? Let me try and be famous. And I got a rude awakening, because it's not all that easy. And the whole thing about rapping is the authenticity is what people really gravitate to. So I found that out the hard way. But inadvertently, I fell in love with the process and really, really started to gain some knowledge about how to write, how to produce, how to really, function in the business successfully. And that's when I found my calling, after sort of not really making it as an artist, doing some great things as an artist, but not really getting to where my goals were. I realized I'm better suited behind the scenes, which is what I'm doing now. And that all started probably when I was about 25, 26 years old. So it just all kind of happened quickly. And before you know it, I'm in the studio with Snoop and Robbie Williams and all these people, just because of the being at the right place at the right time and moving in the right way on the scene and that kind of thing. And everyone's like, who is this guy? Who's this guy? Is he an arms dealer? Is he and I'll just let them keep guessing, So everyone wanted to kind of be involved with the movement. Except when it came time to selling, it didn't really work out. But, it was an experience for sure.
Blazing, black and Asian, mixed with a little Caucasian.
So the first place I did music was actually at Scott Storch's place. We partied and hung out, and he was like, he just put out, I think, Make It Rain around that time. So, he was really, really huge at the time. And we got chatting, and I'm like, yo, let's do some stuff together. And I flew over there, and it was kind of surreal. I'm just sitting there in the studio and trying to put songs together, but I really didn't know what the hell I was doing. So there should have been an idiot's guide to rapping, because that would have been handy for me back then. But yeah, that was the first experience. And I went back there many times. So obviously I got better and started developing some writing skills and really a little bit more confidence. But that's where it all started.
I'm on the dance floor, growing impatient. Let's pick our own party, y'all. Back in the day.
My favorite artists growing up and influences, I guess, like, I didn't have the most musical household. So, my mum loved Julio Iglesias and George Michael, and my sister loved Bon Jovi and rock groups. And then my brother was the one who was really into R&B and soul. So there was always Keith Sweat, Kool and the Gang. And then when I was a little bit older, like around, I think 10, 11 years old, NWA and Fushnikins and all those guys really influenced me. So I would actually write raps and and try and freestyle. I never really got good at the freestyling, but my writing was okay. And that stuff influenced me, but I never really thought for 1 minute that it'd be something I'd be doing on a stage in front of a lot of people, or releasing music with people that I've looked up to. So my influences come from everywhere, from super cheesy to super cool to everything in between.
They got me running up hotter than Cajun. My girlfriend's cool, but that girl.
So working with all these guys was mad. I'm buying their CDs in Tower Records, and I'm a fan of all of them, and suddenly I'm like getting to really legit work with them, and they're speaking to me respectfully, and we're chilling and going through vibes of different songs and tracks and music, and trying to write together. And I just remember sitting there sharing a blunt with Snoop, talking about music, and I'm like, how is this happening, man? This is mad. It's the powers of manifestation, though. I really believe if you want to manifest something, you can. You just think about it, you visualize it, you see it, you hear it, and you feel the feeling that you would have to be in that situation, and you attract that energetically. I really, really believe that, and I think that, call it what you want, I respect whatever anyone else believes, but to me, that is sort of like a form of prayer to God to put you into that place when you've got the pure intention to do it. But anyway, aside from that, it's just, I'm sitting having dinner with Robbie Williams, and he didn't know I did music, and we're in the car together afterwards. I'm going to drop him off somewhere, and I put some of my music on. He's like, mate, I didn't know that you do music. He's like, who's this guy on the hook? I said, oh, that's just a reference singer. He's like, mate, I love this hook. Do you mind if I get on it? So I'm like, do I fucking mind? Robbie Williams on my track. So played it cool, of course. Yeah, you can do that, Rob. No problem, Rob. Then I get out of the car, I'm like, Mum, you won't fucking believe this. So it was very surreal, and I was lucky to be in that circumstance. But the irony of it is that I feel experience is the comb that life gives you after you've lost your hair, if that makes sense, sometimes, for some people. And I was one of those people, because if I had the knowledge I have now and developed the talent that I've developed now in understanding production and writing and not being afraid to be myself, no matter what, I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm going to do this because I love it, and this is who I am. And if I had that mindset then, and didn't care so much about trying to calculate how I can be successful, I think I would have gone a lot further, for sure. I know I would have. So, now what I do is I take on all that experience, and from the creative side and from the business side, and that helps me be the best manager I can be. And I love being a manager. I love my artists. I love every single one of my producers, writers, artists. They're all family to me. And I bring all of my experiences, good and bad, success and failures, into the fold with them and apply it to what they've got going on. So honestly, it's a blessing at the end of the day, and I'm grateful to have gone through everything I went through. The artist path really wasn't obviously for me, but being behind the scenes and managing and helping other people's dreams come true, them get closer to achieving their goals is really what it's all about for me now. So yeah, man.
I'm patiently anticipating this money we're making is cool.
See, if I could put together a super group, dead or alive, I don't know, it'd be hard to justify what the fuck I'd be doing in that group. Do you know what I mean? But if I could, I'd like to be behind the scenes, maybe manage and put, I know this won't happen, but because I think they tried to do it already, Kanye tried to do it, but I would love to see what would happen with Kanye and Tom York. And I think I'd just have to be the muse and maybe do the security or something in the group, because I don't know where I would fit in, but I would love to see them do something together, and to be able to manage something like that and be behind the scenes would actually be, like, how can you go wrong? So yeah, I think Radiohead and with Tom York and Kanye would be very interesting and innovative, and I like that about Kanye, that he does take a lot of risks and he puts himself on the line. Say what you want to say about him, but he's a genius in that regard, and he's the first person to openly, on a commercial level, do the things that he's done and taken the risks, and so far so good for him. And Tom York, Radiohead speaks for itself. They're so evolved in their music that it's even beyond they've gone beyond mainstream to the point where their music's kind of snobby, but it's, if you analyze it musically, it's just genius. So between the two of them, I think there could be some real something really interesting.
The fact that you got a girlfriend is cool with me. Now how about both y'all groove with me?
The advice I'd give any newcomer trying to think about getting into music is, are you fucking crazy? Nah, don't do that. Don't do it to yourself. I'm just kidding, man. That's not even funny though. So the advice I'd give anyone starting out, any youngsters or any up and comers, whatever age you are, if this is something you want to do for a profession, first of all, just know that you have got to be prepared to really, really develop a thick skin. No matter what you say as an artist, you've got a sensitive side, but people are going to shit on you. People are going to come at you and tell you you're not going to make it. They're going to tell you, you know, that you're rubbish and all kinds of stuff. And you've got to keep going. You've got to be persistent and really work. Your life has to become this. There's no playing around. I mean, look, there's a very, very, very small portion of people who've made it and made it just through luck very quickly. But on the whole, it's the people that knock on the 7,000th door after 6,999 rejections, and suddenly one door opens, and you just got to keep going and develop and work, and everything's got to be about homework. Everything's got to be about your music. How can I improve my craft? How can I improve my social media presence? Unfortunately or fortunately, if you know, whatever way you want to look at it, that's a big part of the game. So you have to be interactive with your fans. You have to be married to basically your social media and your music and your craft, and go and listen to, like, my man Rico Love that I manage. Genius, written some of the biggest songs, you know, for Beyonce, Usher, David Guetta, you name it. Right now he's got one on Trey Songz out. Check it out. So that's a plug. It's called Playboy. Check that out by Rico. And, you know, I saw this guy just become a beast and not take no for an answer, because he had the gift and he believed in himself so much that, you know, so what if he gets even 1,000 people tell him he's no good? He knew he's good. He knew he has what it takes, and he kept improving every day until that opportunity came along. So, you know, if you don't have that mentality, then I wouldn't waste my time with it, you know. But if you do it, be committed and make this your wife, make this your life. This is everything. So it's the most competitive industry there is. It's very, very difficult. So you really have to be offering something different, something that's going to connect with fans, whether it's in your music, your personality, your brand, all of that stuff. And what I would say is to also focus a lot on your branding as well as your music. Make sure it's consistent. See, my mistake, some of my mistakes, many I made through trying to be an artist, is I wasn't authentic as a package. Yeah, I can have it with anyone. I had all the birds. I did, you know, I really had that life where I'm flying private every week, and I had all the 8 motors and mansions and all that stuff. I really genuinely did. But at the same time, I'm rapping with an American accent. And, you know, I wasn't really, the way I dressed and wearing eyeliner and stuff like that, it wasn't consistent with my music. So if you're going to do your music, even though I like the way I was, people don't connect unless you have consistent authenticity with everything about you. And that's me being completely honest. You know, I think that's a big part of why I didn't connect with mass market. Because, you know, guy from the UK I'm interviewing and I speak like this, and then I'm rapping like, yeah, doing all that, you know, so it's going to throw people off and think, like, get confused. So you need to have consistency in your branding and make sure it's there for people to connect to and understand and really get to know you. I mean, gone are the days where, back in my days growing up, you had Michael Jackson, Prince, Madonna, people like of that stature, and before that too, of course, where they're demigods. If you see these people, your heart stops. They've got massive star power. It's different now. No one's fucking with you if they don't see what kind of cornflakes you're eating and you know, what time of day you take a shit. That's just the way it is. It's crazy, but it's very invasive. So you've got to be prepared and share that on the whole. Unless your music is so out there and different, that you just remain mysterious. But on the whole, it doesn't. If you look at most artists, it doesn't work for them. You know, YouTube channels, make your YouTube videos 3 times a week, go on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, tweet all the time, Snapchat. It's a lot to keep up with, but that's part of the game. So my advice is take it all on, have a think and say, like, I'm going to commit to this no matter what. I believe in myself, and I'm going to take criticism on constructively and keep getting better and better, and I'm willing to get into this battle for a long, long haul. And that I believe, if you have talent and you work your butt off every day and you're committed, okay, and persistent, and the knockbacks just make you stronger, you get up and you learn from them and you keep going, then eventually a door opens for you. The only people who don't make it are the ones who don't develop their talent or the ones that quit. That's it. If you're talented and you're trying your hardest, you can't tell me there's anyone out there who eventually doesn't make it. You know, I really think that applies to everyone. You've been checking out the Uncle Drummer show. Uncle Drummer was my man when he was a nephew. Now he's an uncle, so I've seen him grow into Uncle Drummer. And I'm proud to say that he's a proper man, proper geezer, and always kept the love. Even if we speak once in every couple of years or whatever, always consistently the same person. So respect Uncle Drummer, and latest to everybody listening. Take care.
Let's slip to the honeycomb, blaze another blunted song. I don't see nothing wrong. In fact, I'm glad that I had as much. 2 + 1, baby girl, add that up.